Okay, everyone, this is Michael with HomeHealthSuccessAcademy.com and 10xPatientReferrals.com, and you are watching our video series regarding starting your own home care business. And in this particular module, we talk about creating a feasibility study. Now, creating a feasibility study is important, whether you're going to franchise a company, you're going to start a company from your home, a home-based business, home care company, or are you going to rent out a facility, an office space, either in a strip mall or in a office building. Either or, no matter what you do, whatever business that you actually create, a feasibility study is always important because you have to make sure that you actually review the area. And we're going to show you guys how to be able to do a feasibility study to better understand your community, to be able to understand, what is your potential outlook in the area that you're planning to run your business. So let's go ahead and get started. So after you had determined your personal suitability, set up your goals and objectives, created your mission, your vision and values and belief statements, you should undertake a feasibility study. Now, in regards to creating goals and objectives, creating your mission, vision and values and your beliefs and your statements, we actually went through that on module 1, and in module 2 we kind of made you look into, should you franchise a company, should you do a home-based business or a community-based business. So what is a feasibility study? A feasibility study will help you determine if your home care business will have a chance of succeeding. In other words, a feasibility study will help you determine if starting a home care business makes sense, especially does it make sense if you're going to be providing it in your area. Because the last thing you want to do is actually open up a home care business if you are in a college area, right? In a college town, for example, because guess what? Majority of people in your area are college people, and the age is not the type of people that you're going to be targeting. So you want to make a determination, and you should never ever just open up a business just because you're close to that area. Some of the successful agencies I know, they may live, let's say, for example, in this town, but they open up their business in a couple towns down, a couple cities down, because they know that they created a feasibility study and within their area it may not be a perfect fit for their company, and they decided to put the center of attention for their business in a separate location. So you have to make that determination and not just make a business just because you live in that area. So there are really 3 objectives that you should be met by the feasibility study in order to study to be a value, right? Number 1, you should need to be able to learn more about your prospective client's needs, their wants and desires. Clearly define the services that you wish to offer these clients. In other words, find a need and fill it, okay? Another word for that is know what the problem that they're facing and be the solution for it. And lastly, you need to estimate how much revenue the services will generate. So after completing your feasibility study, you will have an idea of marketing opportunities, right? So the growth potential for your home care business. Now, you won't know for sure until you actually get your business started, but a feasibility study will help you analyze the risk and the rewards involved in starting that business in your area. You will want to gather as much information as possible about the home care industry, the senior market, as well as the competition before investing your own and other people's money. Because that is the thing. A lot of people, when they start a company, it doesn't mean that they're actually using their own money. They may bring in investors, they may bring in partners, they may get a loan from a bank, right? So either or, you want to be able to make sure that what you put in, time, money, effort, blood, sweat, tears, whatever it is, that you are going to get a return on investment on that, right? So market research. There's no other factor that is more important to your home care business than knowing the senior market. Identifying your market, assessing the wants and needs of the market, and evaluating the competitive mix are all essential to the process. So market research will help you determine the geographical boundaries of your service area market, who your potential clients are, who your competitors are, and market demographics. So why is geographical boundaries could be very important? Well, you need to first of all find out, some states will only allow you to be able to run your company within 3 counties, for example. So like, let's say, for example, my one home care company, we are in the Central Florida area, and we are only allowed to service 3 counties within that area at a time. And so you have to be able to know which counties you want to be able to work around. Now, for example, also, if you are franchising a company, right, you need to find out what area they're only allowing you to work with, right? So depends on the franchise company. You may actually be dividing up Chicago, for example, into 4 different business entities. And so you're going to be competing against your fellow franchisees, but of course they have their own sector where they can actually run their business and take care of clients, and you have your own sector. So you need to be able to know what are the geographical boundaries that is available for me. So market research begins with identifying the potential client base, which is your target market, who will be using your services. So typically, most home care companies will be servicing senior citizens, right? So how do you identify that? So we'll go through several ways on how to be able to identify that market and help you figure that out, right? Determining if potential clients have enough money to purchase your services, because a lot of the times for home care companies, we're doing private pay services. Yes, we may be dealing with companies with clients that has insurances, or you might be getting your Medicaid to pay for some of your home care services, but you need to be able to know, do the clients in this area have the ability to be able to pay for the services, or have the support to pay for these services? A lot of agencies will stick to clients and they just want to concentrate on Medicaid clients. Nothing wrong with that, but for you to be able to have higher profit margins, then you have to go after the private pays, the ones who are able to pay out of pocket, whether they are paying out of pocket or their family members are paying out of pocket, because that's going to bring in more revenue for you. Okay, you need to be able to start off by determining who has decision-making powers, right? Typically, it's the senior's spouse or the senior's daughter or son that makes a decision for those. You need to be able to determine who has purchasing powers. You need to assess what are the wants and needs. Other than the typical services that you offer, can you add additional things for your company that's going to make you stand out? You need to be able to determine how to provide the services which will meet any unmet wants and needs, right? So one of the biggest problems you'll face is finding the right people to be able to work for your clients. Are there a good pool of people that lives in your area or are willing to commute to the area that you're servicing? And also, you should know who your competition. You need to be able to know, hey, what, ABC Home Care here offers these services and charges these fees. XYZ Home Care over there, seems to provide more services than ABC over here, and they're cheaper. So you need to be able to mix and match and find out the different competition that's in your area. But how are you able to provide a good fee that would be competitive, and at the same time as provide more services than the one that does? So these characteristics will become evident through your market research, and then the more information you can gather about the home care market and competition, the better your chances for success will be. That is just the one who is more prepared is always the one that's going to win the battle, okay? So you can do your own market research, which doesn't have to be overly expensive or technical. You can also hire a consulting company that can do that as well. Either or, one of my best suggestions for that is that you should be part of that research. So what's going on in your community and not just relying on an outside company to give you this report and say, here's how it goes. But if you're going to choose a company to do the market research for you, I would suggest don't go after a company that just does market research. You need to be able to find a company that does market research, solely for the home care industry, because they know what to look for within that industry. Now, in addition to identifying the potential clients, unmet needs, desires, competitors, and service, implementation strategies, a market analysis will give you an indication as to whether or not your business will be successful. Now, it's just an indication, because you can get an indication that you are going to be successful in the area, But if you don't put the work in, if you don't market really good, if you don't know how to do the right things in sales and marketing, you're not going to be able to get people to use your business. It may be a fruitful and a nice area to be able to get clients, but if you don't know how to sell, if you don't know how to market your organization, your product, and your services, then you're not going to win either or, okay? So furthermore, it will provide an opportunity early in the game to minimize any obstacles by making adjustments. The structure and functions of your business will, to a large extent, be based on market research. Another advantage of conducting a market analysis is that it will be very helpful should you need to obtain financing. So, other than that, your research, when you create your market research, when you do your marketing plan, you can create a business plan out of the whole thing. You can use all that information if you are planning to get a business loan from someone, from a bank or from another lender. So let's go ahead and talk about conducting test market research. When conducting market research, there's two main methods of research that are recommended, as they will provide a lot of valuable information about your market. There's the primary research and secondary research. Now, primary research, what that talks about is the information that you collect firsthand, you yourself. It can be done informally, simply by approaching potential clients and discussing their needs and wants, and by listening to people in your community or those who are involved in the home care industry. It may also involve mail, personal surveys, or even telephone surveys. Surveying and gathering information from your competitors is doing primary research. It is important because it provides up-to-date information. So when I do primary research, for example, when I open up one of my companies in the Midwest, for example, what I did was that I cold called 30 agencies within that area. So I cold called 30 agencies within that area, and what I did was this. I actually asked for their rates. I pretended that I was actually someone looking for services for my grandmother. Now, a lot of you guys saying maybe that's kind of sneaky. Yes, it is, but that's what we call primary research. Guess what? When you hire somebody to do this for you, they're going to do the same exact thing. So you might as well do that yourself. Okay, and at the same time as you can find out what services they offer. Now, I'm not going to be mean or waste their time and have them come meet me and then find out from them live and then all of a sudden not call back. But a quick phone call will get you some of the answers. And at the same time the reason why I enjoy doing that is because I try to find out, will this person give me the information over the phone? And, but at the same time how do they answer the phone? What are their process? What's their sales process, their marketing process? And by me being able to do that, I can analyze my competition from there. Now, secondary research is research, refers to information that has been collected by somebody else, secondhand, and is presented in a statistical or descriptive manner. It is usually less time consuming and less expensive. So you can actually do research, online. So when I do research, I do a little bit of both, primary and secondary research that makes everything much better. So for example, what I would do is I would be able to go to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, right? So, and what I would do with that is you can pull up those information and find out what is the percentage of 65 years and older people living in this area. Then I can also analyze what is, the current income household for those particular people within that rate. But the next thing I also look at is, anybody above 50 years of age, because if somebody is 50 years and above, guaranteed that they have an older a parent who would probably need some services as well. So I try to find out by that market research and how to be able to find more information about that. And then another thing I do for secondary research is that there's a lot of associations out there that will give you information about the home care companies within your areas. MetLife, for example, comes up with a report every year, and you can actually research this, and they actually tell you the average cost for home care within your particular area, and will tell you how much the average charges that are being made by the companies in your area. So there's a lot of information out there that you can use. I truly suggest that you do both primary and secondary research because it makes everything more robust in regards for your research and for the information that you actually can put together to figure out, is it a good fit for you to open up a home care business in the area that you are looking into. So, value of a test market survey. A test market survey tries to estimate how people might be willing to purchase your services. Okay? It will not guarantee you success, but will help you to determine if you are on the right path. Information is collected by means of a questionnaire, an interview, or a survey. As many seniors as possible should be interviewed or surveyed in order that you can assess their reactions towards your proposed business venture. So when I do a test market survey, the way I kind of work on that is this. I would either, ask, go to a senior center, and I would actually provide a market research survey, and I would actually put some money down, okay? Meaning that anybody that fills out the quick survey will get a $5 gift certificate. And that allows me to be able to get them to actually fill out the information correctly for me and give me some of their time. Of course, the survey that you have to ask has to be blunt questions, quick questions, and should not be more than 10 questions so that they can finish what they need to do and get what they need to have. Funny thing is, a lot of seniors love filling out surveys, especially if they have something that they'll get at the end. You'll have grandma making sure grandpa fills out his survey. Why? Because together, if they get a $5 gift certificate, that's $10 gift certificate that they get from Target. Okay? So those are quick ideas on how to be able to put together a test market survey. Value and format of a test market survey. So format, there are three main methods of conducting a test market survey. You can do it by mail, by telephone, and personal interview. Respondents are more likely to respond if the questions asked are simple, clear, easy to answer, and personally relevant to them. So a rule of thumb is to design a questionnaire at a 6th grade or a 7th grade reading level. Make it quick, make it simple, less than 10. So things to consider when designing a test market questionnaire. Okay, so a good questionnaire needs a strong introduction conveying to the respondent what the questionnaire is all about. It needs to indicate why the questions are being asked. It needs to easily answer questions. You should be able to provide a congenial and friendly conclusion and should express thanks for the respondent time and effort. So that's why I said, how do you say thanks? Give them a gift card, not just saying thank you. All right, some typical questions a questionnaire might include are you currently purchasing any home care services? Would you purchase any services that are not currently listed? Are you satisfied with your present service provider? If no, what is the reasons? How can services be improved? How much would you be willing to pay for our services? So these are quick questions that you can actually ask. And there could be more questions, but like I said, you want to keep your questions less than 10. Keep it simple. Get the answers as much as possible. If the answers can be either yes and no, and at the same time as you can also do what they call rating, how likely would you rate this type of services if you needed it? And then you can give them a scale of 1 to 5 or 1 to 10 and then start figuring things out from there. So things to research when evaluating the market. There are several areas to review when researching the market. Each has its own specific questions that needs to be answered in order to give you the most accurate information. Take the time to explore each one of these, okay, to be able to enhance your chances of having a successful business. Now, the main areas to review is the market area, okay? You need to look at your geographical area, who you're going to be targeting, then your marketing profile. I want you to be able to imagine right now what would be or how would your typical client that you want to service look like? What would they look like? How would they act? What type of diagnosis would they have? What is their current living situation? Who's taking care of them? All right, so I want you to think about that. That's needed when you create the marketing profile. Then you need to be able to look at your competition. Look at their website. Look at their brochures. Look at what they're doing in the community. Then you need to look at market status and as well as market share. So market area, the market area refers to the physical area where you will be offering your services. It may be a city, a town, a county, a region, a municipality, neighborhood, etc. Think of it as a geographical area that you can plot on a map. Within the boundaries of your market area will be your target market. Right? The market you will be targeting for your home care business will primarily be the senior citizen market. Once you have determined your market area, you can gather demographic information of that area. In selecting a geographical area for your business or service, the distribution of client groups will play an important role in the area that you select. Some things to think about when selecting the geographical boundaries are competition, demographics, and maximum distances you and or your staff are prepared to travel. Market profile. These are your potential clients. Once you have that decided on the market area in which you will be operating your business, you can start collecting some basic demographic data that's included in your market profile. Some important characteristics to include in your market profiles are age, gender, income, pension income, social security income, population 65 years and older who have disability, marriage, partner status, as well as cultural, ethnic, as well as racial background. Who is your competition? Your competition is comprised of the businesses who are offering similar services to the same client you have selected as your target market. Not only do you want to study the market in terms of potential clients and geographical area, but you should also do a study of your competition. You will want to know as much as you can about their business operations, client services, their image, and reputation. By researching your competition, you can better determine their strengths and weaknesses to help you design your own marketing plan. Now, when you are trying to determine existing and potential competitions, you need to look at home-based service providers, independent contractors, home care agencies, both private and home health care agencies, franchises, and governmentals as well. There's family care homes, assisted living communities, care facilities, and as well as any other business that offer a service such as window washing or yard work which you intend to offer. In addition to identifying the competition, other aspects of their businesses should also be reviewed. If possible, try to obtain as much information as possible about their business. Not necessarily easy, right? These details will help determine your ability to compete with them, the major strengths and the weaknesses. So look at their services, Let me give you guys a quick tip. In the Chicago area, my home care company offers free, okay? Free snow shoveling. So we shovel the snow of the driveway of our clients if there are more than 1.5 inches of snowfall. We offer that for free compared to other agencies that do not. So why does that make us different? Because we use that in our fall prevention program. Because a lot of seniors, when they fall, more likely to end up in the hospital in a rehab facility. So we want to be able to work with clients and prevent that from happening. So we will do that for them. Now, some clients do not have a driveway. They live in a townhouse, that the local association will handle. They live in an assisted living facility. They live in a condominium, right? But we don't have to provide that for every single one of our clients. But when we do get a client who does want that service for their mom, their dad, their grandparents, that makes us stand out. So what the services you offer is supposed to make you stand out from the other agencies. And by doing that, you can show yourself that you are trying to give back to the community. So other than the typical services that all agencies offer, are there anything that you can actually add for your company? You need to be able to look at geographical areas, who's within your competition area, who's going to be servicing these patients just like you are, promotional activities. What type of promotional activities are they doing? Are they offering free diabetic classes? Are they offering, CHF classes? Are they doing Zumba classes? Are they doing yoga, Pilates for the seniors? What are they doing to promote themselves is something that you need to know, and you should probably eventually get into as well. You need to be able to look at your competition's client base. I'll tell you one thing, there's several home care companies that are pretty smart. They're not just servicing the senior industry, they're also serving, for example, women who just gave birth, for example. So they're able to provide additional care for that. Some agencies out there now are providing staffing services as well for other home care companies, or providing skilled nursing staffing to communities as well. So if you have to really look into what are additional things that you can actually do, and then find out, how long have these companies been in business? Have they, do you work or compete against other companies in your area that's only been in the industry for a year, 2 years, 3 years? I would look at the companies that's been in the industry for more than 10 years. What have they done to keep them in business for the past 10 years? You need to be able to look at all these different things to be able to show success for your company in the future. You have to prepare yourself, and research is one of the most important things. Market status. So what is the status of the market in terms of growth, stagnancy, and decline? Your local licensing bureau will have historical and existing stats on home care businesses. You could also check Yellow Page listings, check back over a period of a year for a better picture, right? So One thing you can do is that if, let's say, for example, in your area, like let's say, for example, in Florida, where I run one of my companies, what I can do is I can go to the local state website and look at how many home care companies are servicing the area that I'm providing services in. And then what I would do is I always print that out on a yearly basis. And what I can do is I can compare, hey, how many home care companies, closed down from point A to point B. So you need to be able to do those researches as well. And it helps you have a better look at what's going on in your particular area. In Chicago, for example, within the past year, more than 35 home health agencies have closed down within the Cook County area. So I want to be able to figure out, hey, why is that going on? Okay, is there something going on in the area? Is there a shift in the market? And this allows you to be able to be aware of your area and the product that you're trying to offer. Market share. What's your market share? Like I said, find out how many home care companies are in the area that you're servicing, because that's your market share. Your market area and your target market within it, right, will support a certain level of revenue for home care services. The portion of total revenue that any one competitor has is called the market share. Your potential client volume, how many clients you can reasonably hope to gain. All right, so there's different ways to kind of calculate that, like how many. If you actually have done a survey of, let's say, for example, you surveyed the area, and out of 1,000 seniors that you have surveyed, it's about 10% of them say that they actually use home care services, or home care services are being done for their wife or their spouse. And what you can do from there is by looking at the average, at the Bureau of Labor Statistics. If you are able to see, like, let's say, for example, there's 1 million people within your area that is 65 years and older, then you can actually say, hey, 10% of these people are potential home care clients, possibly. Once you've narrowed down, for example, their income status, and because they can actually afford the services, you take that particular population. Then what you end up doing is you take 10% of that, okay, and then from there on, what the typical population out there in this area that can afford and potentially use the services that you have. Then what you can do is you divide that among the potential home care companies that you're competing against within that area, and it tells you what your potential is, what your potential census could be. And then from there on, you work hard to be able to go after that. All right? So that's a good way to be able to look into that. Market share, remember, estimating market share is not easy, but you should attempt to make the effort to sell your services. You should know what share of it you hope to obtain. So you need to estimate in numbers the total market, the total seniors in your chosen service area, considering your competitors and how much the total market each competitor has, deciding on a figure for your market share. Now, if you're franchising, then it's a lot easier to get this information, because you can then tell the franchising company, I would like to find out what the average census is for the franchises that I'm going to be working around with in the area. And that can kind of show you what that is. And at the same time, as if you created and have signed those non-disclosure agreements, they give you the authorization to be able to speak to the other franchisees, and then they can tell you what their market share is, which helps you a lot to get the information that you actually need. But if you actually call any home care company that you have no relationship with, they're not really going to give you that information, because they try to keep that privy for themselves, right? And then next thing you need to do is to determine the price structure for your home care services. Now, this is one of the trickiest part, right? Pricing your services is a very important business decision you will need to make. You must offer your services for a price that your target market, the seniors in your area, is willing to pay, and one that produces a profit for you. You will not be in the business long if you cannot generate a profit. Your clients will ultimately determine your prices, and they will only be willing to purchase your services within a specific price range. Remember that the image of your business is crucial to obtaining and keeping clientele, and that your pricing structure and policies are a major component of your image. Now, I want to tell you guys one thing, and this is this, right? Never be the lowest charging home care company. There can only be one of the lowest. There can only be one. And typically the person that charges the lowest is the one that goes out of business. The reason why is there's no profit margin for you. There's going to be companies out there that are charging $16 an hour, and that right there does not make any sense at all. and how it's going to work. So the reason why that is, how easy is it to find a home care aide to provide services? If you're paying a home care aide $10, $11 an hour, because that right there is even break-even point, most home care companies are starting to see that they need to increase the prices. And also, I want you guys to also pay attention to what's going on in the government, in the laws that are happening in our cities. Like for example, in Seattle, minimum wage there over there is $15 an hour. So what's going to happen when your state, your city, turns up to be one of those next future places that expects minimum wage to be $15 an hour? So for these home care companies that have their seniors, have these clients that are used to paying $16 an hour, what happens to when they all of a sudden receive $15 minimum wage that they have to pay? It's going to change things up. So you need to be prepared for those things as well. And that's why keeping abreast of information, always researching what's happening in your area, is vital for you in this company. Okay, let's talk about direct labor costs. Okay, so there are variable expense increases when revenue increases. They also decrease when revenue decreases. Variable costs are any expense incurred as a direct result of providing your home care services. Direct labor costs includes those wages and labor-related expenses identified with a specific job. The labor cost is calculated by multiplying the number of direct labor hours delivered by the direct labor cost per hour. As the number of services provided increases, so do the costs of labor. We can therefore consider labor costs as a variable cost. Remember to include not only the amount paid directly to your employee, but also all other labor-related expenses. You need to talk about marketing. You need to talk about the cost of being able to bring in employees within the office to provide services. You need to be able to look at the potential additional costs for, expanding your office space as you increase your services. You need to look at, should you actually upgrade your computer system? Are you going to be still using paper systems, or are you going to make it a paperless system as well? So there's additional costs that you're going to be incurring as you start, increasing your products and your services for your organization. So these are things that you need to look into on what's going on within your organization. Overhead fixed costs, right? These costs do not vary directly within the revenue. These business expenses must be paid even if you have no clients, and therefore no money coming in. They include, but are not limited to, insurances, your rent lease payments, utilities, advertising, interest, and any debt for a startup cost. So I talked about, marketing and advertising could be a variable, could be fixed. The thing is, you need to look at, your marketing and your sales cost should actually keep on increasing and should not really be as much as fixed, because your marketing, your sales, that is what's going to bring in the revenue. 100% of your sales and marketing is what's going to deliver your revenue. So if you want to be able to provide more services to more people and reach out to more people, your sales and marketing needs to also increase. But in the beginning, it's going to be a fixed cost, but eventually it starts going up. Labor costs for office employees and other salary employees, that can be fixed, but as you are growing, that's still going to increase as well. So there could be some variable things as well. And also to be able to keep your executives, to keep the good people to stay in your organization rather than moving away, there could be some variables where you might have to give them raises as well to keep them within your organization. And don't forget a salary for yourself. You should set up your salary early on and say, hey, this is how much I'm worth and how much I should pay myself within the organization. But we have to be honest, this thing will go up as well, because once you start bringing in more money, you're going to start seeing, hey, should I actually increase my own salary? You need to stay away. If you're going to be starting a business, one thing that you have to learn is that you should set up your salary and allow yourself to be able to live through what your salary is. And then in a yearly basis, quarterly, or within twice a year, you can increase your salary if you need to. But you should never ever dip into your business checking or savings just because you need to be able to get extra money. You should not dip into your company company's monetary funds to take care of, costs for yourself or personal expenses. So these are one of the biggest problems that are faced, but we'll discuss that a little bit further more into the whole sales and marketing, as well as furthermore in other videos on how you should manage the money within the organization. Pricing methods. So there are really three used pricing methods, and that's pricing to actual cost, pricing to the market, and pricing to the position. So let's go ahead and talk about that to be able to determine how much you should charge for your services. Pricing to actual costs. This method takes into account all your costs, your desired profit, and then totals these into a price. Prices must cover all costs of supplies, materials, services, goods, overhead, labor, debt, servicing, etc. The home care industry is service-oriented and labor-intensive. Consequently, your labor cost will be the major expense. This is the preferred method to establish your prices. Now, pricing to the market. A guide to setting your own prices to determine what the competition is charging, as most likely these are the price ranges that potentially clients will expect and accept. Be careful, however, not to just automatically adjust your own rates to theirs without doing any in-depth analysis of what your actual costs will be. Also, in your effort to compete, don't undercut your prices so much that you do not realize the profit you need to make or take in sufficient funds to cover expenses. This is where I talk about earlier on, saying that how I determine my pricing is I actually just go ahead and make sure that if I look at the pricing, I try to put myself in a 75% range, meaning that I will never be the lowest charging agency and I will never be the highest charging agency. Whatever the median is, I'm going to stay myself within the median and the highest paid, and that puts me in 75% of the category. Because once you put yourself in that area, then you should be able to make sense of being able to pay for the people and the labor costs that it's going to take to be able to run your agency. The negative side of pricing to the market is that your actual cost may be higher than your competitor's cost rate. But I always say this, it's not about the pricing, it's about what a person is willing to actually use the services for. Think about it yourself. Are you always going to purchase the cheapest product? Or sometimes have you splurged a little bit and paid a little bit more? So you cannot just rely the fact that you have a low cost service to say that that's what's going to make your competitors lose from you, and you actually get the clients because you're the lowest paid, you're the lowest charging one. You have to understand this, that there are going to be people out there that's going to make a decision to pay because of the lowest rates, but at the same time as you need to be able to teach your team to know how to be able to handle objections. And it's not always about pricing that makes a person choose a product. And if that is what they're going to put themselves in, that's where you have to learn the sales and marketing techniques. Like, for example, if somebody says it's all about the price, I ask them this: have you ever purchased a product that is low cost, but at the same time it did not deliver the quality that you wanted? So this is a way to be able to, go past people that's saying that it's all about the price, for them to make a decision to be able to provide services or have services provided for their mom, their husband, or their aunt or the grandparents. Pricing by position. When pricing your home care services, consider the image you want to portray. In other words, how do you want to be perceived in the market? This is an important question because your price positions your service in your prospect's mind. If you're positioning your agency as a high-end service provider, you should choose price towards the higher end of the price ranges already found in your market. If, on the other hand, your service will be more modest, sacrificing additional features and the finer touches, then you can go ahead and lower your price. One thing you can always do is that you can always provide a nice price, like I said, in the 75% range. And what you can do is, if you're starting to see some objections and really seeing that a patient is requiring you to lower your price, then you can go ahead and do the takeaways, right? And you can say that, all right, well, you know what, if that's the case, then what we're going to do is we can put you in the lower price range, but then at the same time, but we won't be able to provide these additional services that we typically give to our higher end clients. Because one thing that I do is it's not just about providing the services. We always add more services to our products and services for a patient, which helps them make sense of why we charge a higher rate than the typical other agencies. So what are the startup expenses, right? What are the costs when you're doing a startup? This should be something that you look into and determine as well. So determining startup expense and cost. All the costs related to getting your business to the point where you start delivering services to your clients are considered to be part of startup costs. Startup costs are figured separately from your operating costs, okay, which takes over once your business opens its doors. It is important that you obtain reliable estimates for your startup expenses wherever possible. Example, your insurance agent can give you an advice on the types of coverage you need and estimated cost for that coverage. Printers can give you estimates on the cost of printing your business cards and your brochures as well. Made advertising expenses. Advertising is essential for business promotions. And the main way that you might want to consider for advertising your home care business are provided right here. So you can do newspaper and magazine advertising, brochures and business cards, letters, equipments and supplies, office equipments, housekeeping equipment, supplies, personal care equipments, as well as vehicles. And don't forget also the social media marketing. That's such a big thing nowadays. Also, don't forget the fact that you need to have a website also created. You need to be able to look at other social media like Facebook's, Instagram, and Twitter as well. That's something that you should possibly look into and invest in as well. So let's look into the funds, right? So operating money. You should have enough money on hand to carry you and your business for as long as it takes to reach your break-even point. You need to be realistic about your break-even point and consider a longer startup period, up to 6 months. How long is it going to take for the licensing of your company? How long is it going to take before you actually bring in a patient, or bring in a client to provide services to? You may end up opening up your company 6 months after the moment that you start up, but then the question is, are you going to start getting patients right away? So, being able to determine that is something you need to be able to know. You must have contingency money, allowing yourself additional funds, a cushion for the things you may have overlooked or can't predict, okay? You need to be able to determine operating expenses. Operating costs are the costs required to keep your business going after the startup. Operating costs are ongoing and are incurred in the daily operations of your business. So when you're first starting off, are you going to be the person that's going to be marketing the company? Are you going to hire somebody to work the office? So one thing that I always suggest a lot of people to do is maybe you can outsource certain things at first. If you don't want to hire a marketer, then you yourself need to be able to train yourself to market your organization. That's one thing that we do here at Home Health Success Academy, is that we have our online learning platform that helps people learn how to be able to market their company, to be able to know all the mistakes that have been made by other agencies and how to be able to face those, how to be able to get past the gatekeepers. These are those people that prevents you from talking to the right people that's going to potentially refer patients to you. How to be able to handle the objections. You're going to hear a lot of objections. I just want you to be ready. The fact that when you start your agency, a lot of people are going to say no to your services. A lot of people are not going to want to meet with you. A lot of people are going to say they're already working with another agency. So you must be ready to learn how to market your services. If you want to be able to create success, you need a full-time marketer. And if at first you can't afford that and you're going to be that marketer, the next question is, who's going to be handling the phones in the office? Who's going to be handling the day-to-day operation within the office? And so you need to be able to understand what are the operating expense costs that you're going to be able to have, and be able to be ready for that. And that's why you need to be able to analyze everything. Insurances, that's something you need to be able to make sure you have, right? You need to protect yourself. General liability insurance and employee bonding, for example. You should not commence service delivery until you have obtained liability insurance and employee bonding. This cannot be stressed enough, because just one bad lawsuit is going to pretty much end your company right there and then. And there are numerous insurance companies, that would be pleased to review your needs with you and offer tailored packages. First person you should reach out to is the person that handles the insurances for your cars. Typically, most insurance companies handle more than just car insurance and sell more than that. So you need to be able to reach out to them, see if they can help you out. Professional liability insurance is important. If you are offering personal care, hands-on services such as dressing, bathing, and transferring a client from bed to bathroom, and etc., you should make sure your insurance policy covers such activities. A general liability policy usually does not cover these type of activities, so you may have to take out a professional liability insurance policy. You will want to be protected in case any accidents occur. And no matter what you say, no matter how safe you are, these things can happen. But best way to prevent these things is to be able to make sure you offer training for your staff so that they are aware on what are the safest ways to be able to prevent falls, to be able to make sure that they are safely transferring patients, bathing patients, and handling the day-to-day care of any patient. Disability insurance is also important. Disability insurance replaces a portion of your regular income when an illness or accident prevents you from working, right? It can be important for a self-employed person, although it is relatively expensive, and the payments may not be enough to keep you going in case of a disability. You guys heard of AFLAC, right? That's something that I always make sure I do have for myself. At the same time, is also allow it to be offered to my employees as well. Vehicle insurance is important, right? Cars and other vehicles used in your business have to be insured for business purposes. Insurance claims may not be valid if a vehicle is involved in an accident under a condition the policy doesn't cover. So if it's a personal insurance for your vehicle and you're transporting patients and something happens, well then guess what? That's not going to be covered unless you're able to make sure that you contact your insurance and those additional coverages are added to your plan. Ensure that employees have the appropriate coverage if they are using their own vehicles for the delivery of home care services, especially if they are transporting clients. Homeowners insurance. So let's talk about it. These are especially for agencies that are decided to do a home business, to have your office in your own home. So regular homeowners insurances does not usually cover losses which are related to home-based businesses. So since insurance companies vary in what they cover, it really, really, really is wise to determine the specifics of your personal homeowner's policy by consulting with an insurance company representative. So if you already have a homeowner's insurance, make sure you talk to them and you contact them and try to get as much information from them. Be sure to advise, that person that you have a home-based business so that he or she can ensure you have adequate coverage. Looking into forecast project service revenues, right? Revenues are the amount of money earned from servicing your clients. So in order to forecast revenue, you will need to project the number of service hours delivered and determine what price you will be charging for your services. So let's say, for example, you're charging a fee of $20 per hour and provide 10 hours of service. Your revenue would be $200. But let's say, for example, if you provide 20 hours of service at $15 an hour, your revenue will be $300, right? So you need to be able to know and forecast that. You need to make sure that you list all the services you'll be offering, the number of projected service hours, and the hourly price you will be charging for the different services provided. Forecast your estimated revenue for each service for each month during the first year. You must forecast revenue, costs, and profits using assumptions from your market research. So by doing this, it allows you to be able to kind of put together and figure out, hey, how much am I going to be making this year? Or how much is my potential earnings for the first year, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth? What is my growth potentials? And you must be able to forecast that, especially in the beginning. And it allows you to be able to say, hey, am I hitting my targets? Did I over exceed myself? Or where should I need to be able to work harder to be able to do better and earn more? You need to also calculate the break-even point. That point right there in your business is the point at which your revenue is equal to your total expenses. At that point, you neither make any money nor do you lose any. The break-even point shows what it is going to take in service revenue just to survive. Once you determine what your variable costs and fixed costs are for your business, you can determine your break-even point. The break-even point can be determined in service hours or even in revenue dollars. Project cash flow. A cash flow projection is a forecast of the cash your business anticipates receiving and dispersing during the course of a given period of time, frequently a month, right? It is useful in anticipating a cash portion of your business at specific times during the period projected. Cash flow projections are prepared to determine shortages or excesses in cash for the amount deemed to be necessary to operate your business during the period the projection covers. If projections indicate there is a cash shortage, then financial arrangements must be made to generate more cash. How do you make more cash? Market more. How do you be able to market more? Make sure you're out there, your time, your marketing, putting yourself in front of people. A lot of people are so worried about saying, how do we save money for the company, when what they should be doing is they need to be more proactive and how to be able to get more clients. That's how you can actually make sure that there's cash flow for the company. At the end of each month, the cash position should be adequate to meet the cash requirements for the following month. If there is insufficient cash, then additional cash will have to be infused, or the amount of cash being paid out must be reduced. If there is too much cash on hand, then this money is not working for the business. By projecting cash flow, analyzing the break-even point, and obtaining good cost control information, you will be better equipped to make decisions which will increase profits. The cash flow projections become more useful when the estimated information can be compared with the actual information. Projecting cash flow will assist you to set new goals and plan operations for more profit. So you need to also analyze other factors that can occur, right? When conducting a feasibility study, there are other factors that you should analyze, including legal issues, determine your staffing needs, and financing your business. So with legal issues, determine the need for licenses, permits, insurances, or certification necessary. Do you have what you need? If not, can you meet the requirements to get them? Determine your staffing needs. Do you have the necessary skills to be an effective manager, or do you need to bring somebody else whose strengths balance your weaknesses? Are you better at managing the office and not as good at marketing? Then maybe you need to bring in a better marketer that can bring in referrals for your company, right? When you finance your business, finding the necessary funds is a challenging thing for every new business, and we'll discuss furthermore how you can actually find funds for your company. So I hope this particular section helped you guys well. Our goal is to be able to provide you all the information to be able to create the successful home care company that you desire. And what we're doing here in these modules to provide you every single step and information you should have and you should create in order to be able to create a successful home care company. If you have any questions or concerns, always give us a call. Just give us a call here at 630-340-8990, or just contact us at info@homehealthsuccessacademy.com. Always understand that home health marketing is easy when you know what you're doing, and that's our goal here, is to be able to help you create a successful agency. Hey everyone, it's Michael here at Home Health Success Academy, and I just want to say thank you for joining us on this quick video. My intentions for today is to be able to get you guys to start using our online marketing university. The intention here is to be able to have you guys make sense of why joining our online learning platform is what's going to be able to create success for your agency. Okay, and we want to be able to give you all information that you need to create success. A lot of agencies nowadays are having problems how to be able to get more referral sources, how to be able to get their current referral source to give them more patients, how to go after past referral source that you lost to another agency, how to be able to increase your revenue, right? A lot of agencies are closing down nowadays, and our intention is to be able to give you all the knowledge that we share with clients of ours that pays us thousands of dollars to be able to manage their marketing team and their agency. So we're reaching out to home health agencies. These are the skilled nursing agencies, right? That bills Medicare and insurances and Medicaid. Then we also want to reach out to the non-medical, the caregiving and homemaker agencies, and especially hospice agencies as well. And we definitely want to be able to have owners, administrators, especially marketers and liaisons for companies to be able to take this online program, an online platform that's going to give you everything, all the knowledge you need to be able to create success in marketing your company. Remember, marketing your agency, selling your services is 100% of your revenue and is in charge of pretty much paying your salary, paying your employee salary, paying your co-worker's salary. This is what we have in our online university. We're showing you how to be able to create your target market, how to be able to look out into the area that you're in, figure out who are the right targets you need to be able to hit, who are the ones you should be visiting, who should you be following up with. We're going to show you how to create a sales process. If you are a company that does not have a sales process, that does not understand a business cycle, this video is important for you, right? When you guys admit patients in your company, you guys have an admission process, right? And if somebody skips something, if somebody shortcuts something, things may fall through. Same exact thing when you're marketing your company. You can't just go out there and think things are going to happen naturally. Okay, so we're going to show you how to do the sales process, how to do your presentation properly. What are the mistakes that you're going to be facing, right? Because we all make mistakes, but guess what? We've made mistakes ourselves, right? For me, for example, I made a lot of mistakes in marketing, but I figured out how to be able to handle that so that I don't do it again. Or if it does come up, how can I actually solve it faster? How to handle objections. You guys heard it all. We don't have time to meet with you. We are already working with another agency. Oh, you know what? I don't have any patients that needs home health yet. You know for a fact that that doctor just took care of another patient that had home health services. How to be able to learn how to get into the front of the nursing homes, into the hospital's preferred provider list, the do's and don'ts of marketing. You know, how to be able to find out different marketing strategies. What should I be giving out to people? Should I have lunch and learns? Should I not have lunch and learns? How much should I spend in a marketing target? Cold calling scripts. A lot of us don't even want to cold call. People are saying cold calling is dead. The reason why people say don't make cold calls because they themselves have quit on making cold calls because they themselves have faced so many objections. But guess what? If you are able to create an appointment, you have a 70% chance of getting that business than walking in cold by yourself live, okay? So you guys have to understand, how do I handle a cold call? That's very much important. All these different series is available individually if you want to purchase them. If you want to purchase just the follow-up techniques, which we will show you guys a follow-up technique on how to be able to increase it, right? We're going to show you guys day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, every single thing you need to do to be able to increase that potential referral source to refer patients to you guys. You can purchase that particular series by itself, that for $199, or we're going to share with you guys our membership platform, okay? So let's go ahead and talk about that, right? So like I said, you're going to have access to each one of these courses. You're going to be able to purchase these individually, but if you join our online marketing university, which we have a membership program that we're going to share with you guys in a few, okay? So that's what we do at 10xpatientreferrals.com. This is the particular website right here, okay? When you go into that website, you're going to see 3 memberships, okay? 3 memberships. We have our platinum, our silver, and our gold membership, okay? And so right now as we speak, okay, right now as we speak, we talked about our online, our boot camp that's coming up all over, right? So guess what? By the end of 2018, we're going to remove a special thing that we're doing, okay? And so what we're doing is right here, right now. The Platinum membership. You get full access on all the courses. If you purchase them individually, it's over $7,500 in value, okay? Just to let you guys know, when you purchase a particular series, you only have access to that for a whole month, okay? So if you want access to this every month so that you can keep on going back and learning, right? You would be paying $7,500 a month by just accessing those. But guess what? For a platinum series, it's $149 a month. You have access to all of that. Plus, you get part of our quarterly mastermind meetings. That's a $3,000 value. And you also have access to us for 1 hour a month for coaching. Okay, that's a $2,500 value. And at the same time as we talked about our boot camp that we're having, you'll get 1 free ticket to any one of the boot camps that we're having. So separately, totally, it's about $9,500 worth of value. And you can access that for $149 a month. Now, things go down a little bit. If you just want to do our silver membership, what's going to happen is you get the full access and you get a 1 ticket to our boot camp event. But just to let you guys know, we are going to be taking out that boot camp ticket soon once 2019 hits. So if you want to sign up right now to get that free ticket, okay? So right there alone, we suggest that to you guys. That's $79 a month. Now, if you want something in the middle, which most of our clients are using, it's just our gold membership. You get full access to the whole courses, you get 1 ticket to live bootcamp, and you get the quarterly mastermind meeting available as well. So right there alone, we have so much information that we want to be able to give to you guys, and we want you guys to be able to access that right now. So you guys should definitely join Like I said, I want you guys to be able to join this because this is what's going to create success. A lot of you guys are saying, hey, well, $149, that's a lot of money, Michael. I totally understand that. But guess what, guys? Let me ask this question for you guys. If I can show you, and with the techniques I give you guys, and you guys just get one patient by learning the tips, tricks, and techniques, one patient in a whole year, if you are a skilled nursing home health agency, how much is one patient? That's about $3,000 to $4,000 that you're going to get as from Medicare, from the insurances, depending on the billing. Right there alone, it already paid for this particular item. But our goal is not to get you one patient. Our goal is to be able to double your referral sources, to increase it, to increase your patient census. That's what our main goal here for you guys is, to be able to learn how to be able to handle gatekeepers, how to get the appointments, how to present correctly, how to get physicians to start referring patients to you, to get these social workers to start using your agency. Once again, this is Michael with Home Health Success Academy. You have to understand, agencies are having problems getting more referrals. A lot of larger agencies are expanding, opening up their own non-medical, adding hospice to them. So this is a cutthroat industry we're in right now, and then the person that actually educates themselves and learns how to succeed is our one that's going to be able to succeed and beat the other competitions. And if you don't join this, guess what? Your competition is joining this. If you don't attend the boot camp, guess what? People around your area is going to be attending the boot camps that we're having. So like, for example, our event that's coming up in Lakeland, Florida, we actually have people coming in from Georgia, coming in from Tennessee. We have one person that signed up that's coming from, North Carolina. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to create these events to be able to create success for you guys. So make sure you guys sign up, whether you're an online learning platform or attending our boot camp, either or, you should take this. This is amazing information that you guys should actually have your company. If you have any questions, contact us, 630-340-8990. Email us, info@homehealthsuccessacademy.com. But all the information is in our website, homehealthsuccessacademy.com. Our online learning platform is 10xpatientreferrals.com. If you have any questions, always know that home health is easy. Home health marketing is easy when you guys know what you're doing. This is Michael Echeverria. I look forward to seeing you guys in the boot camp, and I look forward to talking to you guys on the phone. Have a great day.